All right, let's see how we can find how many times a letter or letters occur in a string, right? So right now in this string, I called it with C, and it says C occurred 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the first way was that I used reduce. So I converted my string into an array, then I called reduce. So I provided my second argument as an empty object, and as we're looping in reduce, I'm checking to see if, hey, has this object encountered the letter with the value of val here? If it has not, it means it's going to be the first time that we encounter that letter, right? So the value will be 1. If not, this means it's going to be the second or third time, or however many more times. That means we're going to take the current value and we're going to increase it by 1, like this. And then since this whole thing returns an object, we can access its property by doing a letter like this. So if I take that off and I do console.log the answer, on the right, you're going to see the answer is an object that counts all of the occurrences of each of these property names. Okay, so then I can just access that property name like so. Okay, and then we get that. But the bad thing about this way is that what if you want to see how many times, let's say AA or BB or CC occurs? Let's say if I type in CC, it says it occurs undefined amount of times, but it should be 1 and 2. Okay? And later on, we're going to see how to do that with string.replaceAll. So right now, let me put this back, and then let me uncomment this. Now we're going to see how to use filter. So let me uncomment out the filter. So now you see that C occurred 5 times. Let's check something else. Let's check the dash. It occurred 4 times. Right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So how does a filter work? Well, first of all, we're going to take the original string and we're going to find its length, right? And then we're going to find our new length by converting that string to an array. And we're going to use the filter, and we're going to filter out all occurrences that are not exactly the same as that letter, right? So let's say if you have a string that says AAB, we're going to filter it so that now it's only B if we're looking for A, right? And then we can just do the answer is the old length minus the new length, right? And the difference is how many times that exact letter occurred. So if I type in A, you're going to see that it occurred 5 times again. Now, does this work with AA? No, it actually doesn't work, right? Because when you do the split, right, each array's index is only 1 letter. It cannot be more than 1 letter if you do it this way. Okay, let's see how we can do this with string.replaceAll. Okay, so now with the string.replaceAll, and we called it with AA, it's actually correct. Look, 1 AA, 2 AA. What happens if we just call it with A? It still works, okay? So why does this way work? Well, same thing once again. We're doing what we did with the filter, right? We're going to take the string itself, because string has a length property. So this is the original length. And then we're going to subtract that by the length after we replace all of our letters with an empty string, right? Now, if for a string, let's say we have AA, just A and B, and then we replace A with an empty string, we're actually changing the length of the string, right? If you do replace all and you replace things with an empty string, it deletes that character effectively, right? So that's why it works. But why does this work even if we do like 2 letters? And that's because of this bottom part right here. Yeah. So the answer we get, the difference between the length, if we divide that by the letter length or the argument length itself, we're actually going to get the answer, right? Because 2 is a multiple of the original length. So if we divide by the original length, we'll get the original occurrence, which is the right occurrence, right? So let's say for this, if we have, let me change the string to AAA. And then now if we try to do AAA, it only occurred 1 time. Okay? So this method actually works with all the string lengths. Cool, right?